Bum bum bum. Now. Guess we just go on with the story. Oh wait, no, I want to report the thing. Report the quest I just did and see what DP we're at. We're at 191. Probably getting close to 6th class because we just got 7th class earlier in the stream. At the beginning of the stream. Racer Guild, that's where we're going. This one? Pardon us. Sorry for interrupting. It was a 7th currency used just for selling. Oh, that is a really good addition then. I honestly forgot Cold Steel added that until you mentioned it. Well, look who the cat dragged in. Ah, hey there, SSS. Sheesh, if you guys clenched any harder, you'd snap yourselves in two. Normally I tell you to mind your own damn business, but there's no denying it today. Why would Arios just up and leave us? Oh, I'm still in shock. Never once did I suspect he'd do something like this. I suppose the only real hint was that he's been visiting Orcus Tower more frequently lately. I thought he was just going there to discuss the guild's game plans for the future. Instead, he was off rubbing elbows and shaking hands with his employer-to-be. Actually, that's what we came here to talk about. Is Ario still considered a member of the guild? No, he suddenly handed in his resignation last night, along with his bracer badge. In typical Ario's fashion, he finished up all of his requests just prior, even including an outline of how the guild should proceed going forward. As prepared as ever. Arios did always seem to be a methodical man. Still, his resigning without notice is more than just a minor inconvenience for us. What's more, he's been instated as a state Secretary of Defense, the Commander-in-Chief of the newly formed Crosswell Defense Force. It terrifies me to think of what Erebonia's response to this will be, especially considering the message the government sent them by freezing their international assets. Right, Calvar's reaction will be no less frightening, you can be sure of that. Still, it's not like I don't understand the way Arios feels about all this. Scott? What's that supposed to mean? Well, cross-Bellan blood runs through my veins just like this. Those inexplicable incidents mentioned in the address used to happen several times a year. That much is for a fact. I don't know what the truth is, but deep down, every citizen in the state suspects the Empire or the Republic is behind them. Well, to be fair, there haven't been any accidents like that in some time. I think the last was 5 years ago, the one Shizuku and Saya, Arios' wife, were caught up in. By accident, do you mean a truck explosion from half a decade ago? The prevailing theory is that the orbital engine malfunctioned, igniting flammable cargo on board, but it never did sit right. As a result of the accident, Saya lost her life in little Shizuku, her sight. So that's how it happened, huh? We've heard small portions of the story already, but the entirety of it is hard to take in. That must be why Arios quit the CPD and took up to supporting the Gauntlet. I've come to know Arios quite well since he joined the guild, and yet he never mentioned a word about the incident. It must have been weighing on him all these years. Taking that into account, I can see why he accepted such an important position. Forgive me for asking, but have you noticed anything suspicious about Arios' schedule up until now? What do you mean, Lloyd? Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force. A heavy responsibility like that isn't the sort of thing you just agree to on a whim. Wouldn't it make more sense if he had been laying on the groundwork with Mayor, or rather, President Roy this entire time? This could go back further than we realized the last few weeks, maybe even more. That's Sai. Are you saying he's right? It's true that there were occasional conflicts of location in his report. I figured they were just human error, considering the absurd number of requests he was handling. But now that I think about it, he isn't the type to make those kinds of mistakes so carelessly. So each of those times, he was actually meeting with President Croy. But that's a pretty safe assumption at this point. Honestly, Lloyd, your detective skills are so on the nose, it's almost scary. Yeah, Lloyd does that. Thanks. Though I'm sorry if I'm putting Arios in a bad light here. While I'm at it, I may as well ask you another point-blank question. It's about the discrepancies between Arios' schedule and the locations he reported. Do you remember any instances of that from more than half a year ago? Why that far back specifically? Wouldn't that be even earlier than when Mr. Croy became mayor? Well, I doubt my memory is that good, but... you know, there was this one time. When exactly? It was the final day of the anniversary festival. He was supposed to travel to Remiferia on Gilbert's anniversary festival, as in... back in Zero? Man, that's a throwback, if that's what they're talking about. He suddenly cancelled at the last second, and he didn't bother to notify us. Really? I pressed him on the issue once I finally caught wind of it, but all he told me was that he'd been too busy to make a report. Why do you ask, though? Do you think it could be related? I don't know about that. The anniversary festival is probably the busiest time of year for us. It would be perfectly understandable to overlook a single report. The last day of the anniversary festival. That was the day of the auction. Okay, so yeah, that is what they're talking about. So like the auction, that led to Kia and everything. Alright, I know what they're talking about now. You think the two are connected? I don't know yet, but my gut is telling me they are. We've been so busy that we've let too many fine details pass us by. I don't think we've let anything pass us by. Sorry, I have to take this. Crossbow Police Department Special Support Section. Huh, don't you mean Crossbow Defense Force Special Support Section? Is that who I think it is? Who could the mystery man on the phone possibly be? Guess right, and you can win yourself a grand prize. A shiny, brand new... I've had enough of your pointless shenanigans. What are you doing back in Crossbow? Ah, don't be like that. I thought we were pals. I know things have been going off rails, but you can spare some time to chat in person, can't you? I'm sure it'll be worth your while. Fine, where do you want to meet? How about Crimson & Co., aka the former Ravache compound? Let's rendezvous at the Don's old office. The basement then? Got it. See you there, buddy. Do I know who this is? I shouldn't. Was that Sayo? Has he come out of hiding? He did contact us last time after Randy went missing. Wait, seriously? It wasn't him. It was Captain Arundel of the Imperial Army. Arundel. That sounds really familiar. Maybe I'll know when I see him. What? Him again? You were right to ask what he's doing coming back to Crossbow. Wait, Arundel is Lechter's last name, is it not? Pretty sure it's Lechter's last name. Nothing good, that's for sure. He's got balls to show his face around here again. He said he wanted to speak with us at the old Ravache compound. Given his ties to the Red Constellation, we can't be too careful. Still, I think it's our best interest to hear him out. Guess so. Risk is worth the wait. The risk is worth it. I do think we should fully prepare ourselves before going, though. You kids never slow down, do you? Sounds like you had a real piece of work on your hands. Like there are of the Intelligence Division. From what I hear, he's a thorn in just about everyone's side. Lynn's right, we still have a debt to repay from the wetlands. We appreciate it. We'll be sure to get in touch if it comes to that. Yeah, it is Lechter. I forgot Lechter's last name was Arundel. Until I heard it, and I'm like, yeah, that's Lechter. Alright, well, let's go see what Lechter has to say. See what happens. It's the back alley, I think. There's no one posted here anymore. I imagine the department had the foresight to lock up the building before they left. In other words, our favorite fly on the wall probably picked the lock when he got here. Never mind that, we should head inside. All side quests are done, so I guess we're going in. The basement is what Lechter said? You should be further ahead. Watch your step. It's time to find out what this is all about. Bet. Lechter, you're hiding some monsters down here, I swear. Behind this door is Lechter Arundel, captain of the Imperial Army's Intelligence Division. I forget that Lechter is a captain. Because, like, I knew he's a captain, but, like, they don't refer to him as a captain all that much, so when they said Captain Arundel, I was like, who on earth is that? And I was like, yeah, Arundel is Lechter's last name, so it's Lechter. He is most certainly a captain. We have to be careful about what we do and say around him. It's best that we prepare before going in. Once you proceed into the room, you'll not be able to... Yeah. I am ready. We did all the quests. Open the door and enter. Oh yeah, here he is, just chilling. What's up, guys? Working hard or hardly working? Good to see you had the decency to show up without inviting the defense force. Don't take that as a sign that we won't drag you out of here in handcuffs. We know you had something to do with the Red Constellation's actions. There's no use pretending otherwise. Enough with the song and dance. How about you tell us what you're doing in Crossbell? Or better yet, where the hell my uncle and the rest of the Red Constellation are. You would know. The Imperial government is our contractor, and you're the point of contact, are you not? Alright, settle down, kiddos, one question at a time. First off, I took the early train from the Empire here just this morning. Old man Gilead's orders, if that wasn't obvious to you. What chapter are we in, chat? What Cold Steel chapter are we in? 6 or is it 7? There's 7 chapters in Cold Steel? 7 is just finale? Where are we in Cold Steel? The Blood and Iron Chancellor. For what purpose? I think at the beginning of 4, weren't we in chapter 6? Unless I'm wrong. Or, I don't remember if chat said last stream what part of Cold Steel we were in. Well, before I get into all that, there's a little nugget of info. I think you guys would rather know first. The Imperial Army is planning to invade Crossbell this afternoon. Finale. Is Finale chapter 7? There's 7 chapters in Cold Steel. Finale being the 7th one. The Imperial Army is planning to invade Crossbell this afternoon. We're not falling for that. Actually, I wouldn't doubt it. The way things are heading, he just might be telling the truth for once. Are they going to go straight through Belgar Gate? Yep, there's an armored division ready to go at Guerrilla Fortress. It's just one, sure, but I think you know how it'll go. They've got the Empire's latest tanks with all the bells and whistles. Crossbell's armored cars are gonna get kicked around like tin cans. Wait. Doesn't this Guerrilla Fortress stuff happen at chapter 6? I thought it did. Didn't they do the chapter 6 Guerrilla Fortress stuff? Wasn't that a chapter 6 thing? I thought it was. We have to report this immediately to the Guardian. I mean, Finale would check out because, like, I mean, we still have, like, Cold Steel 2 to cover. So we should be in Finale of Cold Steel 1. Granted, Cold Steel 2 doesn't take, like, isn't much of a time span compared to Cold Steel 1, but still. I mean the Defense Force. No point, it's not like they don't already know. We sent an official notice to the state government about this a while ago. Good old Dieter decided to keep our assets hostage at the IBC anyway, and then he went and crowned himself Prez. It's like, how stupid can you be? They couldn't possibly stop an invasion from the Imperial Army. Or can they? That's why I'm here in Crossbell. Any of you seeing Dieter's game here? What good is appointing Arios as Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force gonna do against those guys? I'm not sure. I guess we'll know. When we're like... We'll have a good idea of when we're like at the very end of Cold Steel, given what happens to a certain individual. If you know, you know. Arios is the strongest swordsman, we know, because we're before that moment, which people in chat who played Trails know what I'm talking about. Arios is the strongest swordsman, we know, but he's still just one man. Even he couldn't match up to a tank. Could it be that they have some kind of trump card up their sleeve? It was chapter 5, was it really? Chapter 5 was Legram. Oh, so it must have happened after Legram, because chapter 5 was Legram. Chapter 6 was Rower. Oh, Chapter 6 was the stuff with C. Yeah. Chapter 6 would have been the stuff with C. You fight C in Chapter 6. Yeah, checks out. It's been too long since I played. Perhaps they reached some sort of compromise with the Republic to keep the Imperial Army in check. If that were the case, the President wouldn't have been so critical of them in his address. He must be planning to confront Calvard as well. That's exactly right. Who was this? Kilika. Huh? You're... That's Kilika. Pleasure to see you again, SSS. And to you as well, Captain Arundel. I do apologize for my tardiness. Don't sweat it. We were just getting started. So how are things going on your end? Smoothly, more or less. As of now, an armored aviation division has been deployed to the outskirts of Altair. The Republican Army is on the move too. Armored Aviation Division? You mean they're ready to attack from both the sky and the ground? Correct. It's a unit equipped with the latest high-mobility tank models, as well as the military airships. They are by far the most maneuverable division within the Republican Army. You gotta be kidding me. That makes this a pincer attack from both major powers. Between a rock and a hard place, to say the least. It doesn't take a political pundit to understand what brought about this situation. Even so, Dieter Crew refused to compromise, opting instead for drastic action. What he intends by it, however, is just about anyone's guess. There's one more piece to this little puzzle we got going on. So here, I'll go ahead and answer the second question you had. Second question? I mean about where the right constellation is? Yeah, it's a pretty simple answer. Answer. You ready? I don't know. No one does. Man, we've been waiting for that. Not even the Imperial government has any clue. Yeah, they're gone. That can't be. Why spend so much time building up a response just to admit you never had one? It's Lechter. It's what he does. So what? You're telling us that you had them tear crossbow inside and out and just let him off the leash after? Actually, hold on a second. We know the Red Constellation had contact with the Imperial government at the time of the trade conference. They were hired to kill the terrorists who were targeting the Chancellor's life. Isn't that right? Bingo. I guess you must have heard it straight from the military monster's mouth. And this is just a hunch, but knowing you, Lloyd, it's probably right. Could it be that the Imperial government's contract with them ended the moment the terrorists were out of the picture? Imperial government's contract with them ended the moment the terrorists were out of the picture. Okay, just had to make sure I understood that. What? That would mean... I don't like where this is going. Not gonna lie, Lloyd, that detective nose of yours would be pretty useful in my line of work. If only you were a bit rougher around the edges. Then, was I right? Yep, nail on the head. Who could have predicted? The Imperial government hasn't had any contact with the Red Constellation since the trade conference. I thought it was pretty weird that they didn't pack up and leave Crossbow as soon as the contract was over. Even I was shocked they decided to paint the town red the way they did. No way. And why would Uncle Sigmund and the others pull something like that? Could they have signed a new contract with the Society, perhaps? I find that unlikely. During the Labro incident, the Society had a fleet of foot soldiers they referred to as the Enhanced Jaegers. They were to launch a full-scale attack on Crossbow. I'm certain they would have used what is already at their disposal. That makes more sense. In other words, there would be no need for them to outsource the job to another corps. That lets us narrow down the list of suspects. Given the circumstances, it'd be only natural to assume that the attack was by the order of the Imperial government, which is a misconception of our guilty party stands to benefit from. Moreover, they would also need the funds to enter a long-term contract with one of the highest-ranking corps on the continent. It can't be. Sounds like you got the picture. At times, the truth can be found in the very last place we wish to. Hold on a moment. Are the two of you suggesting there's only one suspect we know who ticks all those boxes? Wait, maybe we shouldn't jump to conclusions? Lechter, Kilika, thanks for telling us all this. I know it's a difficult spot given your positions. We take it from here. We should... The phone is ringing at a time like this. Hello, this is Bannings from the SSS. Thank goodness it finally went through. Lloyd, it's Cecile. You sound frantic. What's going on? Words. It's Arios. He came to the SSS building just now. Arios was there? Yes, and then he took Kia away with him. Oh, Ario's kidnapping children now? I tried to stop him, but Kia, Actually, this will be easier to explain in person. Could you come back as soon as you can? We'll be right there, Cecile. Stay put and wait for us. What's going on? You look like you just saw a ghost. Arios went to the SSS building and took Kia away with him. The hell? Why would he do such a thing? We have to get back to the SSS building right away. He wants to, like, you know, bring Shizuku's friend or whatever. Probably. Make Shizuku happy. Is my guess. Kilika, Lechter, sorry, but we got urgent business to take care of. Of course, be careful. Good luck, guys. Oh, I guess that little ankle biter really was the key to everything. Think they'll make it in time? Perhaps. Though I can't imagine it'll prove an easy task. Kilika has a larger role in this game than I thought she would. In the Crossbow games in general. Of all the characters, like, to come into the Crossbow games from, like, Sky or something, Kilika was not the one I was expecting to have a major role. Like, a decently big role.